Well, thank you for coming to the One More Thing podcast. Today we have Pastor Larry and Pastor Brett. Thank you guys for being here. So this week we had the idea and topic of social responsibility. It was our last value in this series. So wanted to bring you guys on and just talk what social responsibility means to you. So Larry, I'll start with you.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of values we've been talking about, and this is number 8 out of 8. And when we get to the point to where we talk about what is our social responsibility, it hits us in several ways. One is a personal responsibility, and the other is as a community or corporate responsibility. And at Suncoast, we are a nonprofit organization. It's amazing how many times another nonprofit will come to us and say, will you help us do whatever? And, of course, my answer initially is, well, we're a nonprofit too. Why would we raise resources to help you? And then later we discovered there are many people who do things that we should do. And we have adopted a different motto. Hey, if you're one of our ministry partners, or if you can give us a good reason why, we will help you. And we provide volunteer help. We provide financial help. But currently we do it. Our social responsibility is not just about all that comes into us. We keep it, but we share it.
Right.
And we share it through a variety of ways with us. We have our primary outlays, which are giving away cars, and we do oil changes once a month for free. And the car giveaways we do for free, but we help a lot of people who are going through financial issues. We did the Suncoast Cares, and we gave away about $45,000 just with that, helping people who really needed bill assistance, utility assistance, whatever. There's a variety of things. We'd pay them directly to the need, where the need was needed. But it takes a lot of work even to do that.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be the place that has a food pantry when there's a great all-faith food bank. We don't want to be a place that gives away clothing to those who need clothing when Mothers Helping Mothers does just that. So we kind of partner with Mothers Helping Mothers, Lifehouse Counseling, Blaze of Hope, Safe Child Coalition, and Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We don't really expect them to give to us. We simply partner with them to provide help in the areas that we think are needed in town. So backpacks, a lot of different things that we do, and that's giving back to the community. Now, we also want to challenge people to give in other ways. And I can let Brett address some of that.
Yeah, so
back to you.
Back to me, Pastor Brett. What does social responsibility mean to you? It was great to have Scott on the stage and just seeing his perspective on this subject. He really loves that idea, and obviously he baked it into his newest business.
Yeah, great idea.
So what is social responsibility, and what are the things that you've seen Suncoast do?
Well, first, all the things that Larry brought up constitutes one of the many reasons why I'm really proud to belong to this community. So yeah, you divide it between individual responsibility and corporate responsibility. I think on the individual level, what it means to me as a Christ follower is getting to know Jesus and following him, imitating him. That kind of sums up social responsibility in a lot of ways.
Right.
Oh, wait, how so?
How so?
Yeah, listen.
Because Jesus was socially responsible.
Well, what practical things would Jesus do today in our community?
Well, a lot of the same things that he did back in his day. He cared for those who were the have-nots of society, those who were oppressed. He stood against oppression. He stood for justice. He loved the unlovable. He even touched the untouchables.
I think that was well said.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I think that this idea of social responsibility, it is tied a lot to the community aspect of who we are, and it is baked into our organization as well. But a lot of times, even a couple weeks ago when we were talking with Susan, we have that Christian cop-out like, oh, I'll pray for you, as opposed to actually putting actions to our steps. And really, one of the things we focused on this weekend is it's not just the giving of your money, which we appreciate, obviously, but we really love the giving of your time. And I think we have a lot of opportunities here at Suncoast to do that, to volunteer your time. Even this past weekend, I mean, there was actually too many volunteers at the oil change to where Frank left. He's just out.
Yeah, and this was Frank's first visit there, but there were so many guys that were new, and the new guys wash the cars. And we were laughing about that, saying, we have 2 lanes changing the oil, but only 1 washing cars, and the washing cars was backing up. So I had this great moment of just, I'd say intellectual genius. If you have 2 lanes going into the car oil change area, why not having 2 car wash lanes?
So that's why you're there.
Isn't that complicated?
Yep. Somebody's got to point that finger.
So that's the one brilliant thought in quite a while. But it became very obvious when Frank, didn't have, can't have, 12 guys working on 1 car.
Right.
But he helped me see that.
Yeah.
But I think that, going back to what's socially responsible, I think the marginalized, and when we help people change the oil in their car, we do that for them. It's not for the people who can do it or have plenty of resource, or they're driving brand new cars. It's for those, started for single moms who could use an extra $50 in their pocket instead of spending it at the Jiffy Lube or whatever the oil change place is. And we do that because we think and it's back to what Brett said, we're helping the marginalized, those that need it. And I think that's very practical. That's being socially responsible.
Right.
And we can talk about recycling. I think everybody should recycle.
It's one of the easiest things you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in Sarasota County now that you have the big blue bin, you don't even have to separate it anymore. I think it's like a bare minimum on recycling and taking care of the earth. I mean, it's so easy.
Yet my family still calls me the recycling police.
Why is that?
Because I'm always on them. Why is this in the trash?
That's what Laura does to me.
This can go into recycling.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: you have to wash it out, and then you put, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, that's really tough.
It takes a long time.
Yeah. Plus, the recycle bin is an extra step over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Exactly.
But I think social responsibility, that's a bare minimum. We all do that. And I
Right.
think it's social responsible to give to a place that's helping others. So
Sure.
so we don't take an offering at Suncoast, and we don't push that because that's not our primary focus. But we do appreciate the faithfulness of people who see it and realize I'm being socially responsible every time I swipe a credit card to give the church some money or write a check electronically or whatever. I'm helping a company or an organization that is socially responsible, and in some way I'm joining in that community, and I'm participating in the oil change even though I'm not there. I'm participating in the car giveaways even though I'm not there. We all have the widow's 2 mites that Scott talked about. We just put it in and see what happens because of that.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the unique things about Suncoast because of the way you've set up the structure here.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the money that people give doesn't necessarily go to overhead and operation expenses. It goes directly to helping people, which is very, very unique. So not only are we a church that doesn't collect the offering plate, but we're also fiscally responsible in that sense as well, that you can feel confident that the money that you are giving is going to a really good cause and not just getting tied up in administration fees and all that kind of stuff.
Agreed. That takes money for us to operate.
Sure.
But we have other sources of income that come to the church through some business arrangements that have taken up a majority of our expenses. So when we get contributions, we're able to give away probably a little more than the average church would because of that other source of income.
Yeah, and most churches don't set their churches up that way. So it's really, I think, a very unique thing to Suncoast, and I think that just gives people a lot of solace knowing that when I'm doing this, when I'm writing this check, it actually is going to a very good cause. Not to say that Suncoast is not a good cause, because we do a lot of really great things, but a majority of that money is going to giving back and helping the community. And I think that's really, really important distinction for what Suncoast community is.
I agree. And I think that's part of the social responsibility. Let's help people where they need help. Sometimes being socially responsible is just listening to someone who's going through a lot of pain and heartache and being available. And some people do that when they greet on the weekend and they give a big smile and welcome people. They're just trying to help other people in the community feel welcome.
Right.
And it's it takes a lot of people to make a community. It's not just one person. And I think that's part of our vibe, and it's part of our culture, and I like it. And I think because it fits us well, we do it easily. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not a
100%.
strain for us.
We provide a place where you're safe. If you are hurting, or if you're whatever,
Right.
whoever you are,
Right.
whatever you're struggling with.
And that's not by accident. I think you were very intentional when you started Suncoast that this was going to be a safe place for everyone.
Always.
And you have so many stories of time after time, even in the school, people, the marginalized, the people that are the outcasts of the society finding a community in Suncoast. So it's like what Scott said this weekend. It has to be baked in from the beginning. Mm-hmm. People can see through not being
inauthentic.
not being authentic to the organization, and it's been baked in from the very beginning. People that are deemed the outcast feel at home here at Suncoast, so it's no wonder that it just happens that way. It wasn't by accident. So kudos to you in creating something that's really
Well,
amazing.
now I want to talk about that I felt like God told me that I needed another new jet.
Ooh,
So it's
yes, I did hear that.
Yeah,
or a second one.
I was talking to my sister.
I thought he said he was going to take you home if you didn't raise $3.5 million.
Yeah, that gets real personal too. We're sort of slamming others. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But I talked to my sister about that. She said, "Oh, we sold some property. We really feeling so much better." And I said, "Well," and I played the brother card.
Right.
Well, I'm glad that you told me that because now you can contribute toward my new jet.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
of course, she laughed and said, "Yeah, it'll be a cold day in July." Abbreviated that a little bit. A cold day in July before that's going to happen. So, but we laugh and we have joy in our community. But we also see the importance is not taking ourselves so seriously and not taking our possessions to where they're only for me, but we share. And I
Right.
think that is a wonderful attribute. And other churches do that too.
100%, absolutely.
I'm grateful that my brothers in town are they're doing a variety of other things, but this is what we do.
Right.
So.
But it's always easy to poke fun at the TV
Yeah,
preachers.
the TV guys are a little bit annoying.
I need a second jet.
Yeah.
God told me
It's a
I
little-
need
it's
two.
a little strong.
But it's okay. No, I think that's one of the most amazing things about outside of what we do in the community is we provide this community, and it takes money to do that, and it takes resources and it takes volunteers to provide a safe place for people to come on the weekend, and that's what we do, and I love that.
I do too, and I think there's something to be said for corporations like Scott was talking about. Right. Part of our DNA is we're going to give something back to the southeastern dogs, and those dogs are being trained to help people who are blind have a companion animal at free of charge, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes corporations are doing that because the faith community has dropped the ball, and not all have done that, but there's some who've dropped the ball, and I have to do it myself because I don't trust my faith community to be responsible with the resources, maybe because they're buying jets and things like that. But I think for us, we go back to the ideals of Jesus. We want to take whatever 5 loaves and 2 fish we get and put it in his hands and see what great things come out of it and share. And I think the miracles of sharing are obvious.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anything else to add from this weekend? I thought Scott did a great job. It was so good to have him on stage.
You both did.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, then we do a teaser for next week.
Yes.
Which is about paradigm shift, and we'll be talking about some of the biblical examples of that. I'm pretty excited about that because I think it's going to be fun and eye-opening.
Yeah, no, we were talking about it this morning and just going over the topics, and I'm just really, really excited. I think it's going to be a really great series.
Yeah, I do too.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for coming on the One More Thing podcast. It's been great.
Thanks,
Thank
Rick.
you.